Why, hello there, everyone. Hello, hello, hello. How are we all doing today? Y'all are being extra generous today. I swear, I see YouTube is popping
Wow.
off with some of these super chats. Twitch over here is already on a level 7 hype train. Thank you all so
We gotta do the hype train
much.
chap with chugga 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 chugga.
I
There
know
we go.
we say this all the time, but truly, we couldn't do this without you all
We
and
really
all
couldn't.
the
Thank you
support
so
that
much.
you all continue to give us. So thank you, thank you, thank you.
Thank you.
Just all the good vibes as we start this chatting with Doug today.
Yeah, thank you so much.
So let's get to the rules so that we can get to all of these amazing questions that we have lined up right now. First and foremost, we give priority to the bit messages and the super chats since that is some real world money spent. And we do get such a large volume of questions. This is the best way that we can kind of prioritize questions. But sometimes towards the end of stream, we do have time to answer highlighted questions on chat or just regular questions from the chat on YouTube. We are trying to get to that. I swear that we are. Okay, I promise. So if there's time, we'll do that at the end. You might want to save it for the last like 10 minutes of stream. Please do not repeat yourself over and over again in chat. You can get timed out or banned if you're even going to continuously do it. That kind of applies, but not really to bit messages and super chats. This is maybe more towards YouTube than it is towards Twitch. I know sometimes with super chats, you see them unpin and then people go, oh my gosh, my money, it's gone. It's not gone. I have a list. We will get to it. It is very, very rare that we actually miss a bit or a super chat question. Just have some patience because sometimes we can get up to an hour behind. So have some patience. We will get to it. Please no spoilers. Not everyone has had a chance to see the latest and greatest of whatever's out there right now, and there are a couple of things I guess you could spoil right now. I don't know, but just no spoilers. Okay. Oh, also on the YouTube side of things, I forgot to mention this. We do prioritize super chats that are $5 and over. Again, it's just because we get such a large volume of questions. It's not because we hate people who give less than $5 or whatever. It's just we have such a large volume of questions. It's the best way to prioritize and still have time for those non-paid questions at the end of stream. Please watch the length of your questions. The longer it is, the faster we have to read it, the less likely it is we don't understand, or the more likely it is we don't understand it and we don't have time to repeat it. So short and to the point is better. That also includes multiple parts. If you absolutely must split up your question or comment into multiple parts, please keep it to 3 absolute maximum. We would prefer 2, but 3 absolute maximum. Also, please keep it to 1 question per super chat or bit message. Just doesn't seem fair if you get to ask 5 questions and other people only get to ask 1. If it is long or if you do have multiple questions, I reserve the right to shorten it. And too bad, too sad. I'm sorry. We have a lot of wonderful people here who would like to chat with Doug today. I feel like I missed something, but I can't think of it. Doug, no cursing?
Thank you. I do always need that reminder. Wave Flow forgot to remind me.
I think that's it.
Think we're good.
I think we're good.
Think we're good.
All right, let's get to it then. Alexander, thank you for the 500 bits. Top 3 favorite Brian Cox performances.
Man. Do I go cheap and say his Hannibal Lecter? I do kind of like his Lecter. I don't like it better than Hopkins, but I do like it. Succession is great. I don't want to say like X-Men. There's got to be better. Hold on. Let me look at Brian Cox. He's always one of those guys where he's in everything, but I'm like, but in terms of like best, what would Oh, I do. I don't know if this is like his best, but I do like him in Adaptation, where he's like, "Who are you? I was the student you yelled at." He's like, "I need more." I don't know. He was very, very believable in that. I'm sure there's better roles, but those are the ones that are like jumping out at me.
Jace, thank you for the $5 super chat. I have a fantastic idea for your review of Fight Club. Sorry, it's being cut off weird because I don't know why it didn't get submitted here. Give me 1 second to see
weird.
if I can. Sorry, I don't know why I can't see this right now.
Oh no.
Have it be the absolute final review you ever do, because I'm sorry, chat. I don't know why this is happening to me right now. Because you could end with you realizing, and then this is part 1 of 2. There it is. Oh my
that I'm
god.
my own.
Sorry. Jace, thank you for the $10 super chat, and this is part 2 of 2. That none of the people in your reviews, Tamara, Malcolm, Rachel, and the different character personas were ever real. All these years, your brain just came up with people to hear your nitpick rants.
Maybe what's twist? But now you said it here and people will be expecting it. So we'll see. I do want to do something unique with it if I can, but yeah, we'll see how it goes. It's a fun idea.
Oi Ram, thank you for the 500 bits. Considering who worked at McDonald's a few weeks ago, you just got a few more easy jokes for your next review.
Yeah, we'll see. I mean, it's always, I'm assuming they're talking about Trump. It's always whoever's president. Like with the runners up, it's like, or the both campaigning, it's like, okay, I can make a few jokes there, but after the person becomes president, that's when it's like, okay, then I'll go into taking the jabs.
Oi Ram, thank you for the 500 bits. You hear about children buying tickets to Wild Robot to sneak into Terrifier 3?
Yeah, but
in what generation do kids not do that kind of stuff? You know what I mean?
Yeah, but so there's speculation because it had a good, I mean, I don't know what it was, like the same weekend that Terrifier came out, that film did pretty well too, so people were suspecting, oh, it's because of that, but then the following weekend, Wild Robot did better than Terrifier. So yeah, it's because it's a good movie.
Okay, yeah, it's because it's a good movie is what he said. Thank you. We got another 10,000 bit donation, so that sets off that credit card. So I don't know if people could hear you over yourself screaming.
Oh,
basically,
yeah.
it probably wasn't due to that. It's just a good movie. Alexander, thank you for the 500 bits. What are your thoughts on The Third Man with Joseph Cotten and Orson Welles?
I have to see it again because I remember seeing it. I remember really liking it. I love the style of it. I love that climax and the sewers and everything, and Wells acting and everything, good twists and turns. But I haven't seen it since I was a teen, and it's one of those movies where I really want to revisit it again because I hear a lot of people say that's like one of the best, pretty much, from Orson Welles. I know he didn't direct it, but his fingerprints are still kind of all over it. So, yeah, I don't know. I want to revisit it again because I remember really liking it, but I feel like I'll like it even more. And here, I forgot to do something. You can ask the next question. I'm just going to close the blinds here. Hold on.
Oi, Ram, thank you for the 500 bits. Thoughts on Joe Rogan?
I like him fine, but I like him in the same. I always call him Crazy Uncle Joe. You know, if you're going to take him seriously, don't do that. Even he'll say don't take him seriously. You know, he's a fun guy to listen to in terms of talking about comedy and philosophy and just, DMT and all that stuff. But he's also a conspiracy nut. He's a doofus. He's a moron. You know, he's all these things. But he's, like your fun, goofy uncle who's not going to get things right, but, you like listening to him. He's fun to listen to. So, yeah, and like I said, I respect him, the fact that he, too, says, no, don't listen to me. Like, you can listen, but don't take it seriously, kind of thing, where I feel like a lot of commentators are like, I'm the only voice. I'm the only one who knows. And he very much says, no, I'm a doofus. I'm your crazy uncle, kind of thing. And I think that's fair.
Flame Reaper, thank you for the $10 super chat. Want to hate the Green Lantern movie more? Not only did it kill an amazing show, but Parallax, who in the comics is a giant bug demon, is instead a bland cloud with a face. So dumb. Also, it's my birthday. Happy birthday, Flame Reaper.
Happy birthday. Yeah, I don't know much about I did see a little bit of the show, and the little bit I saw, I did like, and it made me want to watch more of it. Definitely more than the movie. Yeah, no, sitting through the movie is one of the tough. We had a double feature of that and Kangaroo Jack. You can see it on the first viewings. We legit, and when I say we, I mean mainly me, got drunk while watching that because it was so rough. And Green Lantern was worse. It was worse than Kangaroo Jack. So let that be a quote somewhere.
Asia Starley Adams, thank you for the $10 super chat. Hey, Doug. I know you're a longtime X-Men fan. I was wondering if you knew there was an X-Men spin-off movie back in 1996 called Generation X. Have you seen it, and what did you think? Also, where's Rob been? He's been around. He doesn't love to be in front of the camera all the time.
Yeah, he well, and also with the amount of questions we get now with the Q&As, it's tough to bring in another person.
Mhm.
Yeah, and yeah, no, he'll is he in another one coming out? No, he'll probably be in the commercial special though. We usually use him for that.
Mhm.
And Generation I did because I read a little bit of the comic. The comic wasn't that bad. It wasn't that great either, but it was all right. So I did watch the little whatever movie made out of it. That was clearly supposed to be the start of a show. I don't remember being awful. It's not good though. It's still pretty bad.
Alexander, thank you for. Sorry, I was messing with something. Thank you for the 500 bits. What are your thoughts on the Hitchcock film Suspicion? Personally, I thought it was a film ruined by the ending, which I heard was due to studio interference.
I don't know that one. I haven't seen
maybe
all the
it's.
Hitchcock.
Sorry, I just assumed they misspelled suspicion. Suspicion?
Neither I know.
Sorry, I'm probably messing it up. It's probably me. I'm not gonna lie.
It's probably me. I've seen a lot of Hitchcock films, but I haven't seen all of them. I'm definitely not like a Hitchcock expert. But I've seen a lot of the big ones that people know, like Strangers on a Train and Psycho and all those. But no, that one I'm not familiar with. I'll try to check it out.
Edge, thank you for the 59 NOK through Super Chat. Video game logic. I'm stronger than a mountain. I've defeated giant demons, but breaking a wall and trying to open a locked door, it's too much.
Well, when you put it like that, it just sounds silly.
Sean, thank you for the $5 Super Chat. Heather, you've never seen Silence of the Lambs? The lambs will never stop screaming. Now you have to live with that. I would say I'm sorry, but I'm not. Enjoy your screaming lambs. They will never be silent. Jeremiah, thank you for the 500 bits. Hey, Doug, there's a Hollow Man with extra scenes that show the R-word scene.
It's funny because I actually I saw the movie on like Amazon, but then when my boss got me the Blu-ray, he got me the extended one, the unrated one, and again, for even if they left those scenes in, it's not. Again, I'm not someone who wants to see those scenes, but if you're going to be a shock exploitation movie with an invisible man, go crazy, and they still don't. It's still like just whatever from the point of view of the camera, and it's like that's not what would be like weird about with Invisible Man doing that. So it's like I don't know, like be a psychological thriller or be schlock. You know what I mean? It's really not able to do both.
The Ultimate Frozen Fan, thank you for the $5 Super Chat. Hey, Doug, you've shown clips from the 90s cartoon The Critic with Jay Sherman a few times. Any plans on doing an NC Untitled review or top 11 on it?
Probably. I wouldn't mind talking about it because I feel like that's kind of the gateway in between like Simpsons and like modern animated sitcom right now in terms of like modern Simpsons and Family Guy, American Dad, and all that, because The Critic could go a little further than Simpsons could in terms of like flexible reality. And when that was canceled twice, they worked in a lot more of that into the shows, and the shows got a lot crazier. And they both been criticized for that. Like, oh, there's not much heart to it anymore because they're going sillier and zanier and just trying to top the jokes. Where The Critic found a really good balance, but it was the first to really, really push it further. So yeah, I wouldn't mind doing a video talking about that.
Peter Grad, thank you for the 500 bits. It was nice to see you give Naomi Scott her due in your Smile 2 review. She really impressed me. What about her performance did you like best?
Probably the fact that, I mean, for like, I feel like I'm not exaggerating, like 50% of the movie, she has to be screaming crazy, like just acting crazy, screaming and stuff like that, and does not get annoying. It is still very, very believable, and you really, really feel for her. And they're not shooting her in the most flattering. I mean, nobody's really shot in a flattering way with the weird close-up wide-angle lens. I mean, everything's just so uncomfortable, and she worked with it very well. I don't know. I've never seen her like, I guess, in a good movie, but she's always good. So it's nice to see like, okay, now the performance matches the material, which is nice, because they're both very, very well done.
Boy Ramp, thank you for the 500 bits. You look into the Wicked controversy with the poster reaction yet?
I did. It sounded like an overreaction to me. Like, it just looked like fan edit, just trying to make it more like the original poster. Unless I'm missing something, I'm on the outside looking in. I could totally be missing something, but it looked pretty harmless to me from what I saw. But again, I could be missing something.
Sean, thank you for the $5 super chat. Question for both of you: favorite scene slash line from Big Lebowski? Goodness, it's been so long since I've seen that. I don't know.
Man, trying to think like a lot of time whenever like because me and my friends would just quote it all the time, and I think the one whenever like somebody would do something really cool would just say nobody f's with the Jesus. That's probably the one we quoted the most.
Sorry. Edge, thank you for the 119 NOK through Super Chat. Game Logic, Water, Red Dead Redemption's John Marston can survive several gunshot wounds, but can instantly die if he drowns or if his feet touch a single H2O. Cue Sonic is drowning music.
I saw so I never played the game, but I seen clips of it. And I saw somewhere something where someone like just either walks in a puddle or goes in water up to like I think it doesn't even hit the chin, and it just says you drowned. Something like that. That is pretty funny.
Ram, thank you for the 500 bits. Since I know you won't be able to do an NC-17 review, what are your thoughts on Showgirls?
I mean, it's everything you want it to be. I'll say this: when I first saw it, I found it surprisingly boring. But as I got older, and I listened more to how strange this dialogue is and how nonsensical it was and everything, it did get a lot funnier. So yeah, and it sounds like most people that are in it have a good sense of humor about it now. So, and that's one too. Even though it's NC-17, I feel like I could do a review of it. You can work around everything, and you can still see the comedy of it. So, maybe someday. I don't know. I feel like its time has kind of passed, but I don't know. Maybe it makes sense to review it someday.
Jace, thank you for the $5 super chat. What top 4 Christmas films do you have to see? I watched Die Hard, Claus, Edward Scissorhands, and A Christmas Carol. I roulette a different carol every year.
Oh, I like that. All
Yeah.
those are good choices. Christmas Vacation, I have to see because that was kind of my Christmas growing up. Arthur Christmas is a new one I have to see every year. I think the George C. Scott Christmas Carol I have to see. The original animated Grinch. I hate to have to say that now. Probably Mickey's Christmas Carol I have to watch too. Like a lot of the show, and the Blackadder Christmas Carol. All those I have to see.
Movie Mike, thank you for the 500 bits. Which father figure to a superhero do you like more? Jonathan Kent from Superman or Alfred from Batman?
I mean, there's so many different versions of them. That's what's so rough. I mean, if you're gonna say like the Kevin Costner one from Man of Steel, no, But if you're gonna say like Michael Caine from Dark Knight Rises, I'll also say no. So, yeah, I don't know. That's really, I feel like Alfred was always better with words. There's words I remember from Alfred more, but the feeling I got from Pa Kent in the original Superman movie, and I don't know, that really sticks with me. So I don't know. The combo of those two, if that makes sense, I don't think I can choose.
At Movies, thank you for the 500 bits. Which movie do you prefer to watch solely for its comedy? Brazil or Hot Fuzz, and why?
Oh, for the comedy, Hot Fuzz. And the comedy Brazil is brilliant. I mean, it's fantastic. But yeah, in terms of just the construction of it and how much there is of it and how hard it makes you laugh. I mean, Hot Fuzz. Every time I watch Hot Fuzz, I see something new in there. I mean, the same thing with Brazil. But Brazil, if I notice something in the comedy, it can make it a little creepier. Where with Hot Fuzz, it's gonna make it funnier.
Jace, thank you for the $10 super chat. Follow up on last week's best film soundtrack / scores. My top 4 are Nightmare Before Christmas, The Prince of Egypt, The Lion King, and Edward Scissorhands.
Oh, not bad choices at all.
Edge, thank you for the 119 NOK through Super Chat. Game Logic. Time heals all wounds. You got shot in the head? Not to worry, all you have to do is do nothing for a minute and you'll be good as new. Armor? Who needs it, am I right, ladies?
Time heals all wounds, unless there's a time limit.
That's true. Jace, thank you for the $10 super chat. I'm harping on Edward Scissorhands because Fortnite made him an interactive, now playable character, and Grand Glacier Garden Sculpting Hedges being the first film I openly cried watching. My emotions are high.
Can Edward hold like a gun at all? Can he hold weapons? How does he do his hands shoot?
You're thinking about it too much, Doug. You're thinking about it too much.
Guess so. Art the Clown needs to be in that game, man. That'd be cool.
That would be really cool, actually. JL, thank you for the 10,000 bits. Really appreciate that. Thank you. What's your favorite Disney animation movie on Disney Plus?
Probably Fantasia. That's probably my favorite animated movie.
Theater grad, thank you for the 500 bits. Who was your favorite teacher when you were in school?
There was a couple, because I was not a very good student. I didn't learn very well. I didn't focus very well, and more often than not, I would make fun of the teachers. I'd lock them out of the classrooms and stuff like that. So the ones that actually did have a good sense of humor about it, and the ones you could see kind of did care and knew how to handle me in terms of like me disrupting class and stuff like that. It did go a long way. Yeah, there's there's a handful. I say more when it got closer. About 5th grade up is when I really started to like remark on, okay, this is like a good teacher. All the ones before that, that's fine. Oh, that's a nice teacher. That's a mean teacher as well. But like after 5th grade is when when I really started to notice, okay, like this person really does their job well, kind of thing.
Alexander, thank you for the 500 bits. Which Cary Grant screwball comedy do you like more, Bringing Up Baby or His Girl Friday?
His Girl Friday by a long shot. I think the jokes are funnier. I think it has better commentary. It's darker as well. They both have very fast dialogue in it, but the dialogue in that one is just so quick. Yeah, definitely that one.
Stead, thank you for the $10 super chat. Hiya, Doug and Rachel. I'm Heather. Hello. Just saw the channel's Pixar tier list and was happy to see Ratatouille so high up. Personally, it's definitely my favorite Pixar film. What are y'all's thoughts?
I mean, you could watch the video.
I like it more than Doug. I know that.
Yeah. Well, so we did this. So I like the movie a great deal. I have some of my favorite scenes, especially the ending with the big shot with the critic. But I find that people who can cook really love it. And I think that makes sense because it does look like there's a respect, not just for cooking as a craft, but like as an art kind of thing. And, like an emotional art as well. I think that's very clever. And I think it does pull in a lot of people, like me, I'm not a cook, but I'm good at eating. So I can definitely relate to like that scene at the end, again, without going into spoilers, when he tries the ratatouille and his reaction. I both laugh really hard and really acknowledge that's a good emotional moment too. So yeah, it's everything else. I thought some things could be tweaked a little bit, but yeah, like maybe it could flow a little bit better. But yeah, I do really, really like it.
Blazerama, thank you for the $5 super chat, and it's just an emoji of a slice of cheese. So enjoy some cheese, I guess.
Thank you. Cheese on.
Will, thank you for the $5 super chat. Evening, guys. Doug, would you consider reviewing Fright Night from 1995 for next year?
Is that when it came out? 95? No, I thought it was like late 80s, early 90s or something. I know there's a remake that came out. Is it really 95? Wow. That's really bizarre. I like the movie. I don't have a ton to say about it. It's not one that I absolutely love, but I see why others do. It's got good atmosphere and everything, but yeah, it's not one that really calls to me. You know what I mean?
Matt, thank you for the $5 super chat. Hey, Heather and Doug, hope your week's going well. Doug, how do you go about getting sponsors for the channel?
We got people that go and find them. It's nice when they're booked for like, some are, here's one sponsorship. Some are like, hey, here's a couple months. Some are like, here's the entire year, kind of thing. So it's always really cool when that happens. And it's cool when that happens because that shows that they do have trust with us, that we've like, done enough that they're like, okay, we know you do good stuff. You get people looking at us and stuff like that. So that's always really cool when that happens.
And people are saying that it is 1985. It was just a typo. for free.
Ah, okay. I was like, wait a minute, I remember growing up seeing that in the video store.
Yeah, yeah. Sean, thank you for the $10 super chat. Have you seen slash heard of the PBS show Liberty's Kids with voices Walter Cronkite as Ben Franklin, Billy Crystal as John Adams, Ben Stiller as Thomas Jefferson, Sylvester Stallone as Paul Revere, among others?
I know what it is. If you showed me a picture of it, I could recognize and say that's the show. I think it was on PBS, maybe.
Yeah. Oh, yeah.
But I've never sat down and watched an episode or anything. Like I heard it's good. It sounds like a very noble thing, teach kids about history and stuff like that. So yeah, sounds cool.
John, thank you for the $5 super chat. Has your opinion changed on the box trolls at all since you saw it 10 years ago? Seems to get a really bad rep, and I don't get why.
I see why I really like it. But I sort of say it's one of those movies where the same I don't want to say it's a selfish reason, but like the same way some 80s movies would just focus on odd things and have just an odd sense of humor and odd pacing. Everything's just a little off in a fun, odd way. That can be like very off-putting for other people. And my brother doesn't get into it much. He's like, it's right, I guess, but I don't know. There's like people that don't like it say it's off-putting, and I do understand that because they're like, why is there such a focus on cheese in this world? Like that's just very weird, and like everything is mounting on the stupid thing. Maybe that's why the person put cheese in there in the chat. But to me, that's just really funny. Like, yeah, why? Like that just makes it even odder and stranger to me and more fun. So yeah, I enjoy it. I can see why others wouldn't.
Jace, thank you for the $10 super chat. Don't know why, but in the Secret of Nim review, the way Philo Barnhart says lunchtime cracks me up. Maybe another cameo for Pinocchio in the Emperor of the Night review to commemorate James Earl Jones?
I've never seen that one. I do know he's worked on it because he's brought it up a few times. And people have asked me to review it, but somehow I completely missed this movie. Whenever I look at these old 80s commercials, I really do look those up. I like watching those just for the nostalgia. I always see this movie, and I have no memory of ever seeing this advertised or anything. So, yeah, I completely missed it. I know I can watch it for free. I think it's on YouTube for free, but yeah, I've never checked it out.
KJK, thank you for the 500 bits. Hey, Doug, what do you think of the X trilogy, X, Pearl, and Maxine? I feel like those movies are right up your alley, especially Pearl.
I have seen Pearl, and I loved that movie. That's one of my favorite ending shots of all time. I haven't seen the other two. We several times we start X and we never keep going. We just always start it, and we're just like, I'm not in the mood for this. Like it's so good at what it does.
Yeah.
Being sort of this Texas Chainsaw type film, an upgrade and stuff like that. But I had the same problem with Texas Chainsaw. I started it, and I'm just like, I'm not in the mood for this. And eventually I did finally sit down and watch it, and I loved it. It's fantastic. Yeah, so I have to watch it when I'm in the right mood. The newest one I've heard is good, but is probably the weakest of the movies. But I am still curious to check that out. So, but I did see Pearl. I really liked it. I should see the other two. I should stop putting it off, and I should check them out.
Super Droid, thank you for the 500 bits. Unpopular opinion, I don't like Gone with the Wind. It doesn't hold up well in my opinion due to several things that haven't aged well. I can't stand Scarlett O'Hara, and Clark Gable and Hattie McDaniel character are the only great things about it. Also, I find 2001: A Space Odyssey slow and boring.
Oh, yeah, both of those you're not alone on. There's lots of people who agree with you on that. I will say with Gone with the Wind, you're supposed to not like Scarlett. That is the point of the movie. I didn't know what I was expecting with that movie, and at least with 2001, I think I saw clips or I had an idea what I was gonna get. Gone with the Wind did surprise me what it was. And same thing with Lawrence of Arabia. I was just like, oh, this just is not. Every time I see clips, I really thought it'd be something else. And it doesn't mean it's bad. I mean, obviously, there's gonna be stuff that doesn't hold up about it, very obviously. But I don't get into it, but I guess I more respect it as like a cinematic achievement, and I do see why it was praised for so many years, and still is. Like I do follow it. But yeah, it's not one I really get into. I do really get into 2001, but yes, there's plenty of people who are just like, why are we just focusing on this one shot for so damn long? And a lot of it is trying to create this environment of of really feeling like you're entering like a different world, sort of like a similar like a meditative state. And for a lot of people, they're like, that's not entertaining. That's totally fair.
Edge, thank you for the 119 NOK through Super Chat. Game logic. 1 health pixel. It means you are close to death and yet you feel fine. You still have the power to kill 100 soldiers until a small apple hits you in the head and then bam, you're dead.
I don't know about that because there's times where I'm playing and I see I only have like 1 slither of health left. And I don't feel great. I feel like psychologically, I'm just like, I feel bad. I'm not in a good place. I feel bad playing this.
Retro Schmo, thank you for the $5 super chat. Do you remember the TV series Elf very well? What did you think of him or the show? Would you like to do a review using moments that stand out?
ALF, right?
Yeah, ALF.
I just got a picture of him right there. It's Alf looking at Jonesy from Alien with the alien right behind him. I love that picture. So parts of it I remember being like legit pretty good, but most of it's the gimmick of what it is that is just so schmaltzy and silly, and that this ran for so long and this was in prime time and everything. So there's a charm to it. The voice is great. I love the voice of Alf. But in terms of like, is it a legit good show? Probably not, but I don't think it's as bad as everybody like kind of makes fun of it to be. I think it's more because it was just so popular and so of that time. But it's fine. It's not what I put on often, but I do think of certain moments over and over. The funniest joke, real quick, he does a silent movie. He has a dream where he's in a silent movie, and every time somebody talks, there'll be a line, that says something. It was a parody of Depression era movies and stuff. And they all go to see the doctor. They all have different things wrong with them. And the boy comes out, throws his crutches, goes, and says, I can walk. And the girl comes out and they take off the blindfold. Says, I can see. And then Alf comes out. Nobody even knew there was anything wrong with him. He just goes, I can talk. With no subtitles. He just actually says, I can talk. And I'm like, that's a clever joke.
Yeah, that is. Darth Payne, thank you for the 500 bits. Hi, Channel Awesome, hilarious review today. Please review 1994's The Crow next week. It turns 30 this year, and it counts as a Halloween movie, by the way. Every critic I watched said the reboot sucks.
It does. I will meet you halfway, because I don't do it. Well, I've already finished the review for Nostalgia Ween, but I will do a Disney December on it, because we are doing Miramax movies, and I figured that's a good tie-in.
Adriana, thank you for the $10 super chat. Have you seen the Disney Channel series Big City Greens? It's one of the favorite shows, and I'd love to hear your thoughts. Disney December, perhaps?
I can probably do that. I've heard people bring it up before. I know it's advertised a lot on Disney Plus. I think sort of like if you like the Amphibia or Owl House and stuff like that. So I'll probably check it out at some point. What's it called again? Big City Greens?
Big City Greens.
I'll put it on the list there.
Will, thank you for the $5 super chat. Heather, what are your 3 favorite Nostalgia Critic episodes? Ooh.
Have you seen more than 3?
Yes, I have, Doug.
Only the ones I'm in.
I mean, obviously I have a bias to the ones that I'm in, okay? But I do really love, like, Toonami, Kids WB. Those were always so fun because we got to write for them too. So it's like I'm attached to those. Episodes. I really liked the first one I was ever in, Alvin and the Chipmunks. We did that whole song. That was wild.
That's right.
That was insane. I thought every Nostalgia Critic shoot was gonna be like that. It was not. I like Wonder Woman. A lot of the clipless. We had a lot of fun filming those clipless stuff.
Yeah. The ones you're right talking about, the segments of shows are really, really fun because we always get the giggles really bad.
Yeah.
And it's so I love, even more than the videos themselves, I love watching the bloopers on those because those are really, really fun.
Yeah, but in terms of one I'm not in, okay, Chad, I'll give you at least one that I'm not in. All right, is The Room. That's the first Doug video I ever watched was Nostalgia Critic on The Room, and it's a great video. You did good, Doug. You did good.
Thank you. Thank you. You did good watching it.
Sandheaver, thank you for the 10-pound super chat. Hey, Doug, what's your favorite episode of Black Books? Mine's the one with the piano. If you enjoy Black Books, I think you'd love the stand-up shows of the lead actor Dylan Moran and Bill Bailey.
I've seen Dylan Moran stand up. He's good. I don't love him, but he's good. Just that persona is really great. And man, my favorite one. It might be the second episode because that was the first one I saw. And I thought that was such a funny introduction. I liked it more than the actual first episode. I do like the piano one a lot. Great deal. And then the one where with Simon Pegg as the bookstore owner, that's another really great one.
Sean, thank you for the $10 super chat. Doug, how is it in the 12 years I've been watching your content, you've never managed to gain weight during that time? Do you exercise often? I exercise every day I possibly can.
I have, man. You just haven't been paying attention. No, well, what'd you say? 12 years? So I feel like my weight fluctuated a little bit more in the early years, like maybe the first 4 years. It fluctuated a little bit. Maybe it's because I have to look at myself when I'm editing. I notice more when like my face is getting a little rounder and stuff like that. Something that made a big difference. I cut out sugar recently because I thought that might be affecting the fatigue, and I think it does. I've been doing a lot better since I cut it out. And boy, that's a huge weight loss right there. Just cutting that out is like boom, like just instant 10 pounds right there.
Nathaniel, thank you for the $5 super chat. Hey, Doug, I was wondering why you have yet to talk about Transformers 1. It's been getting rave reviews and it's currently out on digital.
Is it on digital? Okay. I'll get to. I want to do a video that just talks about all the Transformer movies at some point, so I'll probably get to it there. Man, that's gonna be a long video because there's so many now. But I do really want to see it, and everyone said it's really, really good. I have no doubt it's, even though I haven't seen it yet, I have no doubt it's gonna get a following, and that's probably gonna do well on digital because so many people have been talking about it. I can see people rewatching it too, because I've just heard so many good things. So I believe it, but I haven't seen it yet. I want to. Man, if it's still on the big screen somewhere, I'd like to see it, but I don't think I'm going to be able to. I don't think I'm going to be able to find the time, but I'll see it at some point.
Edge, thank you for the 59 NOK through Super Chat. You think Brock Sampson, Joe Swanson, and Kronk from Emperor's New Groove are related? Because they have the same voice actor. There was like 3 sets of ... between it, so that's why I tried to do the voice actor.
Oh yeah, it's no doubt at all. Totally the same person. Yeah, this is kind of my putty voice a little bit.
Nice. Future movie actor, thank you for the $5 super chat. Could use more NCs for Nick movies. I got a playlist. Also, maybe a Nick themed Disney December type series, too, like you did with DreamWorks 10 plus years ago.
Maybe a lot of those I missed. I think I was just the wrong age when Nickelodeon started doing movies. So I've done stuff like the Rugrats movie and stuff like that, but not too much else. They only do I have had a lot of people want me to do the Wild Thornberries movie because they say you don't need to know the show, and it's just crazy delightful. Everybody tells me. I believe them, so I should probably check it out.
Rilla Steve, thank you for the $5 super chat. With the Smurfs movie, would you want to see the Snorks as a movie?
I don't. Snorks is always one of those where I saw the ads for it. I saw the merchandise. I think he even had like a coloring book for it when I was a kid. I don't know if I've ever seen the show because it looks so much like a Smurfs knockoff. Even little kid to me is going, nah, they're trying to play me. So I just never checked it out.
Headshot, thank you for the $5 super chat. What do you remember being your favorite bit when using your signature gun, and do you think you'll ever use it again?
Well, with YouTube's rules, probably not. I shouldn't say that. I mean, so like the actual signature gun itself, part of it is that, I use it when I'm going to scream at something or be really angry at something, and my screaming voice is going. It's not as prominent as it used to be. So it's trickier to work it in. But I think the review that I just shot today, I don't use that gun, but I do use the shotgun. So I think they'll always be in there some way or another. It's a great way to just over exaggerate something.
Luke, thank you for the $5 super chat. How did you like Mr. Jack Black's performance as Bowser in the Super Mario Brothers movie? I thought he was amazing. In fact, I actually met him too.
Oh, cool. I liked it. I thought out of all the actors, he was probably the best. I really thought Charlie Day was going to be the best because I thought he was actually a pretty good choice for Luigi. And he stole the show. I don't know if I go so far as say amazing. A lot of people are like, I have never seen acting until I saw Jack Black as Bowser. You know what I mean? Like,
Yeah.
that's a little odd. But no, I thought he did good. That was one of the few when they were announcing the cast and everybody's like, huh? When they said Jack Black, I'm like, no, I can see this. I can see that working.
Jimmy, thank you for the $5 super chat. Which superhero has your favorite rogues gallery, and why is it obviously Batman?
Yeah, Batman's
It's
pretty
Batman.
good. I'm trying to think of like all the other comics. Spider-Man's not bad either, but no, it's Batman. I mean, it's already a dark gothic superhero. It's a dark gothic superhero that also has like this campy, weird sense of humor to it as well. So I think that leads to, and it's just always every villain kind of reflects a different side of him as well. You got the Joker, who's like the exact opposite, but then you have Catwoman, who's like almost the same. She's just a little different, so she'll do things more for her than for like what's best of mankind. But sometimes like that could include just doing something good just because she wants to. So all of that I think plays a major part. I think because the character is so interesting, every villain then can reveal something interesting about him as well.
Jace, thank you for the $5 super chat. For next commercial special, how about the Timothy Chalamet Edgar Scissorhands Cadillac Super Bowl ad? It's the closest thing to a sequel we'll ever get. Oh, it must have been Edward. They just mistyped.
Yeah. um, Probably not. I don't know. Most of the recent Super Bowl commercials have been like, I don't think there's really been good Super Bowl commercials for the past like 10 years, I think. I don't know. I always say I'm going to do a video on, and I never do, but it's like, I want to, because I think that I do obviously love commercials. I think the history of Super Bowl commercials in terms of when did they get bad and why does everybody always act like this year was weird because they were bad and they're just bad every year. Now I'm just expecting them to be bad. Like when did it start? Because I feel like I kind of remember when it started. It was like I think it was either mid or late 90s. I think it was late 90s. It was like the Britney Spears Pepsi commercial. A lot of the Pepsi commercials, when they started to go really bad, because they used to be like the grade A stuff, that's when I feel like, things were, they're becoming increasingly lame. I just sort of not look forward, but just expect them to be bad now.
Dante, thank you for the 55-month subscription over on Twitch. Welcome back. Appreciate that. How would you rank the Rocky Balboa movies, excluding the Creed movies? How many of them are there? Because
6. Oh yeah, no, I can do it. I think about this a lot.
Okay,
1, 2, 6, 3, 4, 5.
great. Movie Mike, thank you for the 500 bits. In The Secret of Nim, one of my favorite parts is the opening where Nicodemus is writing in his journal. I really like when he said how he'll miss Jonathan. What do you think of that scene?
Oh, it's a great. When I was a kid, I remember seeing the opening of that and be like, "Well, this looks like Disney, but it's not. Disney wouldn't do this. This just feels so grown up, and that just sucked me in so much more." I thought as a kid that really, in many respects, wanted to be treated older, but wanted to be done my way. Still using animation, still using like cool stories and cool characters and stuff. That was like a perfect intro for me to like immediately suck me in.
Dave's Dragon, thank you for the $5 super chat. How goes the commercial special? I hope the trash pack commercials make it in.
Yeah, I saw. I looked up one of them. It just looked like any other commercial. I saw it has like whatever 1 million views, and I'm just like, maybe I'm missing something. I'll try to look up more, but it just looked like any other commercial. I didn't really see what was special about it. That does remind me, I should put out a commercial post that says ask people for commercials, because yeah, we are gonna look those up soon.
'Tis the season.
Mm-hmm.
Epic Kevster, thank you for the $5 super chat. Doug, you should watch the new Sonic anime short, Dark Beginnings, about Shadow. It's actually really good.
Okay. Haven't even heard of it. Oh, check it. I say that like I really keep up to date on Sonic stuff. I don't. But yeah, still sounds interesting.
JL, thank you for the 10,000 bits again. Really appreciate that. Thank you. What do you think of the new Cobra Kai trailer?
I haven't even seen the last season. I'm just gonna wait for them all to come out before I sit down and watch the last season. I don't know. It's like I like the show, but I don't get the whole let's wait for part 2 of the last season, then part 3 of the last season. Like, just wait for them all to come out. I don't like it that much that I need to see parts of a season as soon as it comes out. You know what I mean?
Future movie actor, thank you for the $5 super chat. Also got playlists for NC reviews of 1997 through 2004 to haha. Also plans to do for Solo and the other 5 Ronald McDonald videos after Scared Silly.
Man, that's a lot. We'll see how Scared Silly does. If it does really, really well, then yeah, sure, why not?
I do have a lot of nostalgia tied to Scared Silly, so I'll be curious to see what you have to say about that.
It's awful. No, it's fine for what it is.
John, thank you for the $5 super chat. Have you seen the 2009 film Mary and Max and the 2015 film Anomalisa? Very underrated stop motion films that don't get enough attention.
I agree. No, we talk about a little bit. We talk about Mary Max and Paranorman. I think we make a little joke
Hmm.
there, and both are wonderful movies. Both very different, but both more adult when it comes to stop motion and uh, Animal Animalisa. I can never say it right. Anomalisa. There we go. Is I know so many people that don't like that movie, but I also know several that really do like it, and I'm a big Charlie Kaufman nut. I'm not gonna act like everything he does is flawless, but he's someone that really does something different with movies and writing and tone and ideas and the way to present a story and characters. And I think it's another great example of that. But I totally understand people who are just like, this is dumb. Why are we doing this?
Jack Sheehy, thank you for the €10 super chat. Hi, Doug and Heather. Was watching the Uzumaki anime and wondered if there was an animated horror series slash movie where it utilized the unintended scary faces in movies like Cats Don't Dance with Darla.
Hmm. Let me think. I mean, most of the ones I'm thinking of, they aren't. Some Ralph Bakshi movies, but again, his tones usually have kind of at least a hint of a creepy flair to them or an uncomfortable flair to them. I'm sure there's others, but or like some of the old like ones I've talked about in Dark Toons. Where, like Pink Elephants. I don't know how
Mm.
creepy that was supposed to be, but it comes across as pretty enjoyably creepy. Um, so yeah, some of those.
BR37, thank you for the £5 super chat. Are you a fan of either Parks and Rec or Brooklyn Nine-Nine?
I love Parks and Rec. I did not really get into The Office. I acknowledge it as a good show, and I see why it's funny. I see why it works and everything, but it I just couldn't get into as much as everyone else. It got grating on me. Where Parks and Rec, I feel like I could just watch those characters forever. And that's another show actually doesn't start off that great. I really thought, oh, this is just an Office ripoff. It's not as good, whatever. But my wife kept watching it. When it got to about season 2, I'd be walking by and be like, well, okay, that joke worked. Well, okay, that character is funny. Okay, those two characters are funny. And it just got better and better. And now I'm like, this show is great. Like, this is a wonderful show. I haven't seen Brooklyn Nine-Nine. I hear it's good, but I haven't had a chance to watch it.
JRM, thank you for the 7-month subscription over on Twitch. Welcome back. Appreciate
Thank
that.
you.
Hello, Doug and Heather. Hope all is well in 7 months. Nice. Here's my question. What's your thoughts on Carrie movie getting another adaptation after OG to the rest? Hopefully it's good. If not, time to bust out the whiskey alcohol for another Stephen King drinking game.
What else can they do? Well, I mean, first of all, the original really is perfectly fine the way it is. I can see some people being thrown off by the split screen. That's the one thing I can see, like people finding a little off-putting. But everything else about it feels right. And they even did. I did see the remake, which wasn't that great. Like, it's not awful, but it's not good. And I guess they worked with that original ending better than I thought they would. I really thought that was gonna tank, and it only kind of sucked. But yeah, the original's fine. I don't even something like The Shining. I could see remaking that more than something like Carrie, because at least the tone is just so different, and there's a lot of differences in there. Where I feel like with Carrie, from what I understand, I mean, the original movie I think got the book pretty good. I think it's just the ending that's different, but I could be wrong. Maybe I'm remembering it different, but yeah, I don't see the point.
The Wizard of What, thank you for the $5 super chat. Did you change your NC hat? I noticed for some past reviews, your hat looks different. There's a silverish layer inside.
It's a white layer. Yeah. I think I wore it once, and then I was just like, I don't know if this is working. Is the white going to be too distracting? This is stuff that when you look at yourself so much, you think, well, is this going to be distracting or not? So I did for one review, and then I went back to the other one, seeing if people would notice, and nobody brought it up or anything. So yeah, I just went to wearing that. Honestly, I think you're the first one to notice. Nobody else has brought it up.
Headshot, thank you for the $5 super chat. I actually saw Hollow Man years ago, but unfortunately, I was too young to watch it at the time. The review brought back memories, so thanks for that.
Oh, you're welcome.
Maryland Wolves, thank you for the $5 super chat. Hello, Hollow Doug and Heather. What do each think was the scariest moment from Courage? For me, it's the violin girl fake out hotel room scene.
I'm trying to go through the episode. They're talking about Courage the Cowardly Dog, I'm assuming.
I
right?
assume.
Yeah.
Isn't there one with a mask that's really creepy?
Yeah, it was more, that one's more uncomfortable.
Okay.
Because it's like about domestic abuse and stuff. It was like, whoa, Courage, yikes. But in terms of like, man, like this is like scary. Like I don't like looking at this imagery. Maybe that because it so came out of nowhere, that blue thing in the last episode. Because there's not even like a segue to him, Jimmy. He just sort of lays down, closes his eyes, and then you just cut to that. That was just so like bizarre and out of nowhere. I don't know. I'd have to watch them again. I feel like I'm missing something obvious, but I'm blanking on it. Oh, maybe there's something creepy about people being turned to puppets is a little creepy. So that episode, I was definitely a little like, ugh, a little uneasy around.
Movie Mike, thank you for the 500 bits. Have you heard of a Cartoon Network show from the early 2000s, Megas XLR? It was about a video game playing slacker who gets a giant robot mech from the future and uses it to save the world from villains and monsters.
I feel like I've like heard that title, but if you were to show me any pictures of it, I wouldn't recognize it. So I think I've literally just heard of it, and that's it.
Dave's, thank you for the $5 super chat. Have either of you watched Dragon Tales or Littlest Pet Shop, the 2012 version?
I think they're past my time. I'm sorry. I think if you showed me Dragon Tales, I would recognize what it is. I think I've seen it like advertised, whatever. But Littlest Pet Shop, I remember. I think I remember the toy. I think I remember commercials of that. But yeah, not much else.
What up, JD? Thank you for the $5 super chat. Who would you want to see perform live on stage? Lady Raven from The Trap or Sky Riley from Smile 2?
Smile 2, I think, because it showed more of the choreography and everything, and it was shot really well. That's kind of the even bigger tragedy of Shyamalan directing that movies. It was clearly a vehicle for his daughter. His daughter's not a bad singer, honestly. I could see her, doing something with that, but they don't make the show very interesting. Where the one in Smile 2, I don't even think we see the show. We just see the rehearsals, and they look amazing. Like they look really, really cool.
The Wizard of What, thank you for the $5 super chat. Speaking of changes, how come you haven't used the yellow background the other times you did reviews stuck at home?
I wanted it where every time there's something where I'm in like a different location, or it's like but since we're back home, I didn't want to just go back to, oh, here's the yellow wall again. Oh, here's the red couch again. I want it to be in a different spot every single time. So at least when you see it, you can be like, oh, this is when they weren't at the studio because this was happening. Oh, this was during COVID. Oh, this was during that, and so forth. So just something to separate them a little bit.
Will, thank you for the $5 super chat. Top 3 favorite, I'm going to say this name wrong, Sahala Ali performances. Sorry, I know I butchered it.
I think I have to look that up. How do you spell the name?
I know I'm saying it wrong. Mahershala, and then space ALI.
Oh, I think I know who this guy is. Is this a dude from
yeah, you would definitely know him if you
Battle
see him.
Angel? Yeah. I think I'm thinking of the same dude. Am I not? Am I confusing him for someone else? I thought this was the guy from Alita. Maybe not. Okay. I feel like I've seen this guy before. I don't think I've seen enough movies with him. Like I remember him in Spider-Verse, he was good in that. Oh no, he was in Alita. Okay. I I'm gonna have a soft spot for that because I grew up with that anime, so that was kind of neat to see. Where was he in Eternals? I don't even remember that. Wait, Blade? What?
It got
Voice
canceled,
uncredited?
though.
Oh, I was like,
The
what?
Blade movie literally just got canceled.
Okay.
Well, no, not canceled. It is indefinitely suspended.
Okay, no, but it's just fine because in Eternals it says he's in there. I'm like, what is his Blade? I'm like, what is his voice uncredited? I'm like, did that get cut out? I don't know. So this movie isn't good, but he was good in Leave the World Behind. So I think that's 3. Yeah.
Yeah.
Sorry, I didn't see that much more with him.
Ice Luigi, thank you for the $10 super chat. This Q&A being shown on this day made me feel special because tomorrow is my 23rd birthday. Happy birthday!
Happy birthday!
Also, which 3 robot-centered movies do you think is better in terms of story? Iron Giant, Wall-E, or Wild Robot?
In terms of story, man, probably Wild Robot. It's funny. All of them have kind of a similar problem. I don't think they quite. Iron Robot actually has an okay ending. But I think Wild Robot follows through a little better for the most part. The climax is the only thing where I'm kind of like, too, but everything else before it is so well done and like so perfect that I kind of go, yeah, that's probably the best one.
James, thank you for the $10 super chat. And Hot Fuzz, when Nicholas fights the crossword lady and she yells fascist, she shoots across the street at him and he says hag after shooting the pot down on her.
Oh yeah, no, that's a reference to before where they're doing the crossword. It's so good. I love that movie.
Super G Bros, thank you for the $5 super chat. I gotta ask, what did you think of the last voyage of the Demeter, and do you think it qualifies as a future Nostalgia-ween episode?
I didn't see it. I heard it was just boring and nothing. It didn't look that interesting, so I just skipped it. It's a cool idea, to make a movie out of that. But yeah, I just heard there was nothing to it.
Movie Mike, thank you for the 500 bits. In Secret of Nim, what do you think of the battle between Justin and Jenner?
Good. There's definitely elements in there that people say you didn't need, like you don't need the magic stone, you don't really need Jenner and stuff like that. And yeah, but I feel like, again, you could kind of read into the idea of like, when you do have this power, what does that mean? I always like the battle of, in my review, I talk about, what you see, what you don't see, and the unknown. I think that all does play a factor in there, and I think Jenner's character definitely does. And the sword fight's like, okay, it's just a little sword fight, whatever. It does lead to that cool death scene that I think gave a lot of kids nightmares, where he clearly gets stabbed in the back, but it's fine.
Majestic Demon, thank you for the 500 bits. Because you're a fan of rock and metal, if you haven't seen the music video by Ice Nine Kills called A Work of Art, give it a listen. It's basically the band's tie-in to Terrifier 3, and it's awesome. Also, fun fact, the girl who got sawed in half in the first film plays a character in the video.
And what's the name of the band?
Ice Nine Kills.
Work of Art is the...
Work of Art is the name of the song.
Hey, cool. Oh, looks awesome. I will check it out.
Invader Zim, thank you for the 500 bits. Incredibles 2 kind of bugged me because the stakes were almost non-existent. The whole movie is getting superheroes illegal, but literally everyone in the movie loves them and never had to deal with pushback except the first scene.
I go back and forth with it because they do so many things I didn't want to see in a sequel, but I thought they handled it in such an interesting way. For the most part, I didn't care how they handled the villain, but everything else I really got into. And I think for me, what makes the films fun or different, I should say, is because it is a superhero family. It's just not something you see often. So the more interaction you see with them, the more I'm going to like the movie. And because they do have a lot more of that in the sequel, I did enjoy it quite a bit. But I do get some of the criticisms that people have against it.
Chase, thank you for the $5 super chat. Since Trump worked at McDonald's, you have the opportunity to review and joke about the Owen Wilson and Drew Barrymore film Home Fries. It stars David Busey.
So yeah, everyone would click on that. I remember that movie. I don't know who else does. So probably not.
Future movie actor, thank you for the $5 super chat. Got my own video series of Nick movie reviews myself as well. Out of the Shadows review joke on Twitter too.
Cool. Hope it goes well.
JL, thank you for the 10,000 bits. Really
Thank
appreciate
you.
that. What is your favorite moment in Robin Hood Disney cartoon? Do you wish they showed a little more of the romance backstory with Robin and Maid Marian?
Um, yes and no. The acting is good enough. That's kind of more fun to imagine. Like there's just a believability to how they talk about one another. Favorite scene, probably just the climax. I really like how I love the quiet suspense of sneaking in. It's also really funny. And then when the action gets going and it just keeps like building up more and more and more. Yeah, I thought all of that was really cool. Like when I was a kid, that was always the scene I looked the most forward to watching was the climax.
Future movie actor, I just realized I completely butchered reading your second half of the question. Heather kind of indirectly liked my Out of the Shadows review joke on Twitter, too.
Ah,
There
gotcha.
it
Okay.
is. All right. Peter Parker, thank you for the $10 super chat. What is your favorite stunt in a movie or show? For me, there's something about a car driving through a building always gets me excited, like in Blues Brothers and Jumanji.
Yeah, that is pretty cool. I think that's a biggie, just like giant vehicles or machines just being in places they shouldn't or you wouldn't normally see them.
Yeah.
Yeah, no, that's pretty fun. I think you kind of nailed it, actually.
Future movie actor, thank you for the $2 super chat. Sean, thank you for the $10 super chat. Channel Awesome tier list ideas. Don Bluth, Studio Ghibli. Speaking of which, has Malcolm or Walter seen any of them? James Bond, maybe have Brad join you for that one. I do have all of those written down.
Yeah, might be an idea.
Yeah, and I believe Malcolm definitely has seen almost all the Studio Ghibli films, and I'm sure
Mm,
Walter has seen a couple.
yeah.
Sebs, thank you for the 500 bits. Would you make a full review of The Devil Wears Prada? Because it looks there's no full review of that movie by anyone on YouTube. For me, The Devil Wears Prada is one of the perfect movies.
I'm trying to think. Did I see that full movie?
You should. I love Devil Wears Prada.
I I think I did. I remember liking it fine. I think it's one of those movies where the people that really like it, like you said, it really has a hold on them, and they just see like so many layers to the performances and the writing and the comedy and everything. And those that like it fine are just it never goes beyond that. And I think I'm in that boat to a point where I was even trying to think like, did I see that? Did I see that? So I try to talk about movies I have a passion or an interest in talking about, and I'll say this: I'll try to go out of my way to see it again, to see if my thoughts on it change. Because there are some movies where, I think it's fine. Then I watch it again. I'm like, whoa! Like suddenly, it's hitting me.
Will, thank you for the $5 super chat. One must go, good sir. Secret of Nim or Across the Spider-Verse?
Hmm. I'll say Across the Spider Verse because we already have a Spider Verse movie before then. We don't have an Our Secret. Well, okay, we do, but we don't. Not really. That doesn't count.
Maryland Wolves, thank you for the $10 super chat. Thought I'd provide a fun fact. The VA of Lydia from the Beetlejuice cartoon was also Claire from Resident Evil, and childhood mind blower, she was the main lead in The Big Comfy Couch. That I didn't know.
I remember because I think I had to look up a joke because she was in the My Pet Monster movie that I grew up with.
Ah.
And when I was looking at the actors, I'm like, oh shit, that's Lydia. Oh, that's Jubilee. Oh, she's in like all these other things. And like she's one of those actresses that's been in like 5 iconic franchises, I think, or at least ones that people definitely grew up with. So yeah, I think I did know that. I definitely knew the Resident Evil one. That even not playing those games, I know she's like one of the voices in there. So yeah, no, she does good stuff.
The Wizard of What, thank you for the $5 super chat. Are you going to watch, or are you ever going to watch Avengers Earth Mightiest Heroes for Disney December? In my opinion, it's a perfect show.
I've heard somebody bring it up before. Maybe it was you, or maybe it was someone else. I don't know, but I might. It's not high on the list. I feel like there's more shows that people grew up with and see as more iconic that I'd like to see why. Something like The Proud Family or Recess or something like that. But I've heard it's good. So at some point, maybe I'll check it out.
Headshot, thank you for the $5 super chat. Fanscription suggestion I've seen mentioned before is, oh, sorry. Fanscription suggestion I've seen mentioned before is one I believe can be a very good one. What if Roxanne had a role in the extremely goofy movie?
But you'd have to already write extremely goofy movie to be good. You'd have to change everything. maybe I don't know. I wouldn't mind if they, if they did it like they were realizing they were going to go to different schools and they had to break up or something like that. Like that would be interesting. That actually be doing something kind of interesting with the character. But yeah, outside of that, I don't know what else I would do with the movie. And yeah, and weirdly, mine usually don't do that well. And I don't know if Walter's really into the Goofy movie, so I'll bring it up to him. But yeah, I can't promise anything.
Movie Mike, thank you for the 500 bits. From what you remember, what do you think of Jonathan and Martha Kent in Superman the Animated Series?
Oh, I like them. The episode I remember most with them, or at least with the mother, was Clark Kent is apparently dead, and but he's not. He's in like whatever this something blows up, and Clark's in there, but he's Superman, but he has to make people think he's dead. So the cops are calling Ma Kent saying I regret to tell you that your son has passed away, died in an accident. She said, oh, that's terrible. He's like, you're taking it very well. And he said, oh, no, it's very sad. Yeah. And he's literally sitting right there as she's taking the call. And I'm just like, that's really funny. That's a great moment.
Stead, thank you for the $5 super chat. Sorry, Heather, I put in the super chat before the stream started. That's why I called you the wrong name. That's all right. I really don't care that much. I know sometimes, I don't know. I don't want to be that person who's like, I'm actually Heather. I don't care. I know Rachel and Tamara have been around forever, so sometimes people just don't remember who I am, and that's not a big deal. You're all good.
I get called the angry video game nerd so many times. Don't worry.
JL, thank you for the 1,000 bits. What about the...
Thank you.
Oh, sorry. Oh, Jonathan Kent. Sorry, it was very spelled interestingly. What about Jonathan Kent from Smallville?
I haven't seen Smallville. I'm sorry. I hear it's good, but I've never seen the show.
Will, thank you for the $10 super chat. Fun fact, after my wife and I saw The Banshees of Inisherin, I asked her to marry me. That movie holds a special place for me, aside from it being very good.
I mean, that's great to hear. Boy, if that inspires marriage, that's fascinating. I gotta know how your mind works. I love that movie. I love the hell out of that movie, but I definitely don't see it as very romantic. But cool. No, that's really cool.
Alexander, thank you for the 500 bits. What are your thoughts on Abbott and Costello meet Frankenstein? Did you know that was Vincent Price who voiced the Invisible Man at the end?
Oh yeah. Oh, that's very pretty easy to tell. I saw it years ago. I remember really liking it. I remember being impressed how much atmosphere was in it. I didn't expect that from, like an Abbott and Costello, anything, honestly. I thought it was pretty cool how they got the feel of, the monster movies whenever they do like Abbott and Costello meet the Wolfman or whoever. Yeah, I remember liking it. I haven't seen it in years, though. I should probably check it out again.
Ted, thank you for the $10 super chat. Is it just me, or should Abe Lincoln Vampire Hunter get an award for being the most historically accurate film of all time? Also, please review 1980s Alligator.
I'll look it up, and I never saw Vampire Hunter. I heard it was pretty boring, so for all we know, maybe it is historically accurate. Maybe that's why people found it boring. It's like, man, it really is just a movie about Lincoln.
JL, thank you for the 500 bits. In Robin Hood, they only said he loved Maid Marian. I'm curious if he dated other girls while they were split apart.
Probably not other girls, but him and Little John, they have a special something.
Future movie actor, thank you for the $2 super chat. G Kids Draws, thank you for the $5 super chat. Hey, follow up to last Friday's. Any thoughts on Razzle? If not, it's cool. Also, why not Tremors, Doug? Dead Meets Zorin had a plan. I see 8 even.
I'll probably do Tremors next year. I've held up too long. It's one of those where just everybody's done it. But it's more like I should too, because it is so much fun. And did you say Razzle?
Razzle. Yep.
Razzle.
I don't know. I don't know.
There's a musician named Razzle who I am not familiar with. At least I don't think so. Yeah, I don't know. I'm sorry.
Movie Mike, thank you for the 500 bits. Fun fact, when Rob Paulson was being treated for cancer, Maurice LaMarche would constantly go to the hospital to keep him company, and the two would put on routines to entertain the other patients.
Yeah, if y'all haven't read
sweet.
if y'all haven't read his book, it's very, very good. Yeah, it's a very, very, very good. But it's something like, was it how a Ninja Turtle and an Animaniac saved my life, something like that. And I don't know. The dude, he is just charming as anything on planet Earth, and I feel like that really comes across in the book. And it's very hopeful. It's very inspiring. It's just so well done. I feel like really captures the dude. So definitely, if you haven't read it, check it out. It's very, very good.
John McKinney, thank you for the $10 super chat. Out of the attempts to make a haunted mansion, it's honestly a crime that Tim Burton was never considered as director. The ride is up his alley. Not nowadays, but would have been perfect back in the 90s.
Uh, Yeah. I still think, I mean, I feel like I've said this a couple times, like they should, Pixar and Disney should combine forces for that. They should do a Pixar Haunted Mansion and make it about the ghosts. I think that'd be pretty cool.
Jace, thank you for the $5 super chat. Considering Fortnite just added Leatherface from Texas Chainsaw and Billy the Puppet from Saw films, having Art the Clown might not be the craziest idea.
Well, I'm just thinking of all the different things he can pull out, all the different stuff. Yeah, I think that'd be really fun.
Future movie actor, thank you for the $5 super chat for Disney December. Honey, We Shrunk Ourselves, Get a Clue, both Adventures in Babysitting movies, the three Kenneth Branagh Hercule Poirot movies.
Yeah, I haven't done any of the Hercule Poirot. I can never say his name either. I don't know. I probably should. I've only seen the first one. I haven't seen the. I heard the second one's not that great, but the third one's interesting. So I should check those out. Try to look into them.
Obro Productions, thank you for the $5 super chat. Hey Doug, have you seen the official Terrifier music video, a work of art? And if so, what are your thoughts?
I haven't. Somebody earlier literally just recommended it, so I have it saved. So I will check it out, and I will see it by the next time you see me.
Gabby?
I'm listening. I'm just letting Chaplin out. He's just calling.
Gotcha. Gabby, thank you for the $10 super chat. Hey Doug, not sure when the next commercial special is, but you should look into some of the older IKEA commercials. They are very memorable.
Yeah, I know what you're talking about, though. That's because you are crazy. I know what you're talking about. I don't know what I could add to them. They're pretty self-explanatory. Yeah, I don't think I could add anything really that new to it. Like, I'll bring it up to Rob. Maybe he can think of something, because they are very funny and deserve to be remembered. But yeah, I just don't know what I can really do with it.
JL, thank you for the 500 bits. Did you watch the reboot of Alvin and the Chipmunks in 2013?
All I know is the movies, and even those I wish I didn't know. But yeah, I don't think I did. I'm sorry.
Retro Schmo, thank you for the $5 super chat. Did you know the actor who played Tim in Jurassic Park is named Joseph Mazzello, and that he played John Deacon in Bohemian Rhapsody?
Yeah, I think I remember hearing that. That's cool that he's still in acting.
Future movie actor, thank you for the $5 super chat. Tricky thing about adding other mediums to Disney-cember, a lot of missed movies. Also got to do an NC on at least the first Hey Arnold the movie too.
That's tricky because I did not grow up with that. I saw a little bit of it, and that was about it. And that's another one like Boy Meets World, where it like just defined a generation. Like so many people grew up with this, and it helped them like understand certain like issues and problems and stuff, because really delve into a lot of interesting subject matter. And I completely missed it. And I feel like if I'm gonna cover the movie, I really need to understand the show, because for all I know, I could watch the movie and be like, it's all right, you know, but everyone could be like, no, this doesn't represent like what was so great about the show and blah, blah, blah. Like, I feel like I really need to know the show before I go into that.
Will, thank you for the $5 super chat. Any chance we'll see Disney Sembers of Sister Act 2, Good Will Hunting, or Meets the Deedles in the future?
Yeah, did I keep forgetting if I put Sister Act 2 on there or not. So it's not this year. I feel like I always put it on, then take it off. It's like I should talk about it, because it got this weird following, or I don't know, maybe not weird. People that really love the music in the movie and don't care about the movie, because the movie's terrible. But like the music, people really, really got like this strong attachment to. And I think I did want to revisit it and see if it's something I connect to or understand that connection more, because I was really fascinated by that.
Sebastian, thank you for the $10 super chat. Hey Doug, saw your review of Hollow Man. Glad you finally looked at it. I know next week's Stephen King review is locked, but would you review Secret Window and Joke similarly like you did with Hancock?
Secret Window and Joke?
And Joke similarly
Oh,
like you did.
Joke's similar. Gotcha. I'm trying to think. Secret Window, is that the Johnny Depp one, or am I thinking of something else?
I don't know.
I don't know. I'll look into it, but yeah, you're gonna be disappointed about next week. I will say, I put out a thing on social media that said, "Hey, do you think I should only do Stephen King when I really want to talk about Stephen King, or should I just keep doing it every year for Nostalgia Ween?" And most people, I mean, overwhelmingly, most people are like, just do it when you want to do it. And I'm like, all right, because I kind of feel like I was scraping bottom of the barrel. So it doesn't mean there's never going to be any more Stephen King, but yeah, I think I'm only going to do them when I'm like, I really, really want to talk about something of his.
Christian, thank you for the $5 super chat. What is your favorite song from the top 3 of music? Elvis Presley, Michael Jackson, The Beatles.
Man, Beatles is Hey Jude. I love that song. Elvis probably, what they call the Oh My Love.
Ooh,
What's actually the name of that song?
Like silly, I don't know. What is
Unchained Melody? Is that it?
Mm-hmm. Chat help. Chat help.
I think it's
Unchained Melody. You're right. You
Okay.
win, Doug. Doug wins. Give Doug a cookie. No.
And man, Michael Jackson. Probably a toss-up between Thriller and Smooth Criminal. Thriller's probably better, but I have a soft spot for Smooth Criminal because I watched that video so many times.
Anthony, thank you for the $5 super chat. Have you heard of the Canadian CGI show Reboot? It's pretty good. Also, there's a documentary about the making of it on YouTube called Reboot Rewind.
Okay. So I saw a little bit of it growing up, and to me, the animation was still so hokey, I just didn't get into it. I thought it was a little awkward, so I just kind of went into it. And that's another one where I found out it has this huge following, and it got like really serious and really epic and really creative, and I just missed all of it. So yeah, I think we covered it in, I don't know, Toonami or something like that.
Because yeah, I loved Reboot when I was younger.
Yeah,
Mm-hmm.
no, I think I missed something there because I think I just saw the early stuff. It wasn't terrible. It was just, like I said, kind of awkward. But then everybody says it gets really, really good. So at some point I should find out where it's showing and check it out.
Will, thank you for the $5 super chat. How would you rank these comedians? Oh, comedies. Comedies. School of Rock, super bad. There's Something About Mary, and Liar Liar.
Probably Something About Mary's probably the best. So it's pretty close with Liar Liar. It's kind of apples and oranges with that. Super bad I respect more than I like. I saw it once. I liked it, but I can see why that would have a strong connection with like somebody growing up with that movie, but didn't really with me. School of Rock, I think it's kind of overrated. Like, it's fine, it's okay, but yeah, people really, really connect with it. And again, maybe it has something to do with the fact that it is about kids and kids learning about music and stuff, and they just, people growing up with that have a really strong connection with it. I don't know, but even that, I remember critics just going nuts for it, and I was just like, it's alright, I guess. Like, I don't know, maybe that's another one I need to see again.
You obviously just don't understand the next level genius of Jack Black, and that's a shame.
Obviously.
No.
yeah. Between that and Bowser, I'm missing, he's the next Charlie Chaplin, apparently. He's gonna be amazing in Minecraft.
Oh, God.
All of you are missing the genius now.
Strider for Life, thank you for the 500 bits. Have you seen this picture of Michael Jackson as the Little Mermaid called Under the Sea? Oh, internet.
No. For a second, I thought it was like a real picture. I'm just like, he was very strange. I could see him doing anything.
Will, thank you for the $5 super chat. I apologize. Yes, it was from 1945 for Fright Night. Or 85. Wow, I read that super wrong. 85, that was me, not you. Not 95 for Fright Night. With that said, what are your honest thoughts for this true 1985 film, The Color Purple?
Terrible confession, I've never seen it.
Oh,
I've seen I've seen bits of it, and it looked good. I think I've seen like the big moments that everybody talks about in it, and it looks good. It's just one of those where I always like have it on my queue, ready to watch and stuff like that. And for whatever reason, I just never gotten around to watching it. And that'll probably be. Let me write that one down too, because I don't think that's on my list of movies. There, I got some time off in December, no, January, and I want to catch up on a bunch of movie shows and stuff like that. And that's one. Both of them, I want to see that. I want to see the musical too. I really want to check those out. So I'll write that down.
I love the musical version of Color Purple. I've seen it on stage like twice. I love it.
Did you
Uh,
see the movie?
I haven't seen the original movie. I just love the
Yeah.
stage musical.
No. The cinematic musical. They did a musical
Oh,
version on for a movie.
no, I haven't seen that one yet, but I know what you mean. Yes, I haven't seen
Yeah.
it. JL, thank you for the 1,000 bits. What do you think of Malcolm in the Middle?
Oh, love it. That's one of my favorite shows. Absolutely love it. That is one of the shows where the comedy and the it's almost hard to say drama, because it's just so good at the comedy, but tragedy, let's say that the comedy and the tragedy of those characters are just so perfectly intertwined and so relatable. I love how, again, there's not really any bad guys in that show. There's not really any villains, or there very rarely are. But you just understand where everybody's coming from, and just the insanity of this family, this poor family that has, it wasn't like 4 or 5 boys, something like that. And I feel like everybody was somebody in that family at some point. And no, very, very funny. I love how overplayed it is. But I love it can also lead to some good subtleties about the character too. I love watching them evolve as well. No, I absolutely love it.
Productions. Jesus Christ, Heather. Thank you for the $5 super chat. I'm curious, since you are a big Charlie Kaufman fan, what were your thoughts on Orion and the Dark? Not his strongest, but good.
I agree. It's one of the few times where I'm like, boy, there's an idea in there. It just wasn't fully figured out. That's so rare that I say that about Kaufman, because I really feel like he explores every angle of an idea. And I thought, without going into spoilers, the kind of twist in the middle was a very interesting idea. I don't think they quite figured out how to do it. Maybe they were on a time crunch or something. I don't know. And also just everything about it, like the idea is cool, but the characters didn't quite grab me, and even kind of the visual style surprisingly didn't quite grab me. It's probably the least of his works that I've seen. But you're right, it's not bad. But for Charlie Kaufman, it is like, man, he like really sets that bar high for me.
Sebastian, thank you for the $2 super chat. Mustard Man, thank you for the 500 bits. Recently announced that Universal Epic Universe opens May 22nd in Orlando. Classic Monsters, Harry Potter, Nintendo, How to Train Your Dragon. What are y'all riding first?
Honestly, the monster stuff sounds the most interesting, because I'd love to see how they, because that's such a risk. I mean, yes, Universal monsters are still very popular and stuff, but for a whole section of a theme, I mean, like Mario, Harry Potter, How to Train Your Dragon, like these are big money making, franchise. Like they're still making tons of money, and it's like, sure, the Universal monsters are it too, but more just like, no one's demanding for a Frankenstein ride, you know what I mean, or a Dracula ride, so I'm really curious what that tells me. They have something really good in mind, hopefully.
I hate that this got me so bad. The Canadian fangirl said, the plane to Florida. That's what you're writing first. Why did that hit me? That really got me. Alyssa, thank you.
And depending who you're sitting with, it can be the scariest ride.
Right? Alyssa, thank you so much for the $50 super chat. Really appreciate that. Thank you. Love your videos. I missed you during Connecticon last year. Or years ago. Sorry, not last year. Years ago. I was working that year's, realized I missed, was upset that I did. Love your video, especially Once Upon the Forest.
Oh, thank you so much. Yeah, I'm sorry. I missed you too. Yeah, we do other conventions. We'll be in Grand Rapids in a couple weeks. We have Days of the Dead in Chicago as well. So we got a couple coming up.
Christian, thank you for the $5 super chat. For the next Nostalgia-ween, you should do a movie called Straight Outta Nowhere, Scooby-Doo meets Courage the Cowardly Dog.
Oh, I've heard of that. I haven't watched it. I should probably, because that sounds like a fun crossover.
Bernsey, thank you for the 500 bits. Okay, Doug, I think you're reviewing Hollow Man is great. Now about Kevin Bacon and Wild Things. I mean, come on, that cast, am I right?
It's funny you mentioned that because I did the review under the impression that Verhoeven, the guy who directed Hollow Man, also directed Wild Things. So I made maybe 4 or 5 references to that. Because again, that's clearly an exploitation movie, but it's very smart. It's done very well. And Rob, he watched the video and he's like, he did not direct Wild Things. I went, oh, and I had to re-edit so much in that video because again, like this movie's trying to be exploited but not very good at it. So I keep comparing it to. He did so much better in Wild Things, and he didn't do Wild Things. So it is a very good's a tough word to use. I mean, but it is a very fun, smart exploitation movie.
Alyssa Wolf, thank you again for another $50 super chat. Really
Thank
appreciate
you.
that. Have you done a review for Trumpet Swan? I know I didn't say the name right.
Trumpet Swan. Oh, Trumpet.
Yeah,
I never even
I don't know
heard
if
of
I
it.
know because they said I know I didn't say
Oh,
the
a
name writing.
trumpeter? Oh, a trumpeter? Uh, oh, it's over in 50
They said they
years.
did know they didn't say the name right, but I'm not sure
Oh,
what it's supposed to be.
I see a book, like a children's. Okay, oh, here it is. Oh, the trumpet of the swan.
There we
Okay.
go.
Uh, Never even heard of this. It looks like a straight to DVD movie. No, I haven't. I'll try to check it out.
The Wizard of What, thank you for the $5 super chat. When The Wild Robot comes out on DVD, will you do a Nostalgia Critic review on it?
Maybe. I guess people would want to see that. Yeah, let me write that down. There's stuff to talk about there. I think it'd be pretty interesting.
Rancid Randall, thank you for the $5 super chat. No question, just wanted to say love the channel and thanks for giving me something to listen to at work.
Oh, thank you so much. Thanks for
Yeah.
listening to it.
On a Joker, thank you for the 500 bits. Doug, have you ever pulled Heather aside before a stream and say, don't forget, you are my number one guy? Also, thoughts on thoughts on triplets of Belleville. It looks like it's up your alley.
Yeah, I've seen that. I don't love it, but I do enjoy it. The style especially is great. The designs of everybody. And no, I haven't done that, but I will now every single time.
JL, thank you for the 500 bits. And Balto, what do you think of the final battle between Balto and Steel?
Fine. It's like you have to know the tropes going in. I feel like in order to enjoy that movie, I feel like if you're going in like, no, this is a true story, and it like you're gonna look at this film and say this is pretty silly. But if you go in knowing, like, having fun with the tropes and kind of the cliches, it's a good time, and I think that goes for the big battle at the end too.
Alex Loves Musicals, thank you for the 500 bits. Happy Wednesday. Since you've done reviews of Coraline and Paranorman, would you consider doing a review about Kubo and the Two Strings? That could be a fun movie to talk about.
Maybe Paranorman surprisingly didn't do that great. So maybe Coraline is like the only one the stop motion that people really really wanted to check out around Halloween time. I might do Corpse Bride because I think that'd be an interesting one to talk about. It's one of those where I don't think it quite works, but there's so many interesting things in there, and I see why people watch it around Halloween. There's stuff to talk about.
The Red Dragon, thank you for the $10 super chat. If you've seen Hellboy 2, what do you think of Prince Nuada? It will be nice if he has his standalone horror movie, like if James Wan and Guillermo del Toro work together on that.
I don't know if enough people saw the second one for that. I actually don't remember liking the film that much, except for the visuals. What was it? The Troll Marketplace is one of like the coolest places I've ever seen in a movie, and it just again some spectacular visuals in it. I don't remember the pacing and the writing and everything else being that great, but yeah, I guess I kind of remember the film. Like I remember it being okay. I wouldn't see a movie with him like, jumping out at me as like, hey, this is something that, would make money and be a great story, but I could be wrong.
Nick W., thank you for the $10 super chat. What are the worst movies you ever reviewed as the Nostalgia Critic?
Garbage Pail Kids is still number one. Cat in the Hat would be up there. That Nutcracker 3D would be up there. Almost for the honor of it, I'd have to put Freddy Got Fingered up there. That's a good sum up there.
The Red Dragon, thank you for the $5 super chat. What was your first anime that hooked you? Because mine was Inuyasha.
Uh, I mean, if we're going really, really technical, maybe something like, like Thundercats or Transfer, particularly Thundercats. I think that intro just so hooked me in. But we're talking outside, like proper from Japan, made in Japan, stuff like that. Honestly, I think Battle Angel. I think that was the first full one I probably saw and had, like all the gore in it and the action and everything. I was just like, whoa, what is this? So that's why when that movie came out, I was really excited for it because I was just like, man, I do have like a connection to this because that was kind of like the first anime I ever really saw. It's only like these two shorts. That's it. I don't even think they ever did like a show or anything. I did read the manga later, but yeah, no, it's I really like it, even though there's plenty of animes that are better. But I have a real soft spot for it.
King Croker, thank you for the 500 bits. I must recommend you to see Brothers with Josh Brolin and Peter Dinklage. I watched it last week and it was hilarious. The chemistry between Brolin and Dinklage is wonderful and they look frighteningly alike. Crazy how they are both in MCU and Fox Marvel universes, Thanos slash A-Tree for MCU and Cable slash Bolivar, Trask for Fox. You can find it on Amazon Prime if you're interested.
Yeah, I remember seeing a trailer for that, and I never heard of it again. Yeah, so I completely forgot about it until you brought it up again. Those are two actors I love a great deal. So yeah, it does sound interesting. Maybe I will look that up.
Obro Productions, thank you for the $5 super chat. Have you heard of Onyx Equinox? It's a Mexican/American adult entertainment series on Crunchyroll. Amazing monster designs. I also voiced the lead, Izelle.
Nice.
That's awesome.
Congrats. And no, I haven't. I'm sorry, but I will try to look it up.
World of Cars Entertainment, thank you for the $5 super chat. Huge fan of your channel. Was wondering if one day you would do a Nostalgia Critic on the Pixar Cars movies, as I know those are a mixed bag.
Yeah, I don't have much passion to talk about them. The only one I can say I hate that movie is probably Cars 2. And even then, kind of it's not like one of the worst animated films ever made, but just for the novelty of it existing, like, how dare you, Pixar? How dare you make another one of these when there's so many other movies you can make a sequel to, or original ideas, whatever. But I don't really have a passion of talking about any of them. I did Disney December of all of them, and I think I'm good. I don't have too much else to say outside of that.
I'm sorry I forgot to warn you that I was supposed to do this today on stream, Doug, but I have a quick poll to run. I shouldn't say quick. It's going to be a 10-minute poll to run over on Twitch because we're still trying to catch up with our September incentives for subs, which y'all did not completely knock out of the park, but we did most of them. So there's a quiz that we have to vote on now. I don't know if it's going to be done in time for Tuesdays, but for Tuesday's Tournament Tuesday, but we're going to try. Here are the options for quizzes. In case you haven't been around, we've done quizzes on movie quotes, movie music, no context, Nostalgia Critic. It's been fun. It's basically like we do a quiz together and you compete against us. So here's the choices. You'll have to vote on Twitch. It is cartoon intros, which I'm not going to lie, I hope that one wins because I think that'd be a really fun one to do. Doug's sponsorships, in which we will watch a completely out of context clip from one of the sponsorship ads that Doug does that's unhinged and try to guess who's the sponsor. Is it Stamps?
Ooh.
Is it, I don't know, who's the sponsor?
Oh, that'll be rough.
And then the last one is a quiz on the commercial specials and like what Doug's commercial specials that he's done throughout time. So the poll is happening right now above chat. Go check it out. You got 10 minutes to vote. Amazing.
Oh, those sound like fun. Yeah,
those were some good options that Twitch chat came up with. So
I feel like the intros I would do well. It's so funny. The ones that have nothing to do with me, I feel like I'd be really good at.
Yeah.
The ones about me, I'm like, I don't know how I'm going to be at those.
Will, thank you for the $5 super chat. Which of Tom Hanks' Oscar-winning roles do you enjoy more? Andrew Beckett in Philadelphia or Forrest Gump?
I saw Forrest Gump a couple times. I only saw Philadelphia once, and I was very, very young. I remember liking it, but again, it was really a long time ago. So I don't want to say Forrest Gump because obviously you can kind of say it's kind of cartoony and everything, but I don't know. I see the genuineness of it too. But it's hard for me to remember Philadelphia. So I guess for now I'll say Philadelphia, but I should probably go see it again.
Alberto, thank you for the 50 MX through Super Chat. $50 MX, I'm sorry. Hi, Heather and Doug. With cinemas closing during COVID, where was Chester A. Bum watching movies?
Oh, at the same place I always watch them, outside peeking in a small little peephole. That's sometimes I hear how other men watch movies. They're different kind of movies, but those I don't think I'm old enough for.
Alyssa Wolf, thank you for the $10 Super Chat. Did you hear of the movies they make if this coming year? A Toy Story 5, I believe, think Frozen 4, Live Stidic, and Zootopia 2 coming to next year.
Yeah, I've heard. Oh, we made jokes about that. I think like in our Bugs Life review and stuff like that. So we definitely made jokes about it. Zootopia, I think, could actually be a good sequel, though.
JL, thank you for the 1,000 bits. Would you ever do a review of Alfred Hitchcock's The Birds?
Maybe like there is material. I don't think it's one of his better movies, honestly. I know everybody loves it, but I think it's just so hokey and awkward. Like everything outside of the birds, even sometimes the birds themselves are a little weird, weirdly handled. Yeah, I think is really, really bizarre. And he's a very charismatic director and really makes stars look good and act cool and everything. And just everybody's really weird in that movie. So there might be something there. But I also get the idea that it's going to be one that's like, as soon as we play like 2 seconds of it, it's gonna get like copyright claimed. You know what I mean? And like we'll fight it and everything, but that does hurt the algorithm and then hurt people watching it and everything. So we'll see. There is material.
Future movie actor, thank you for the $5 Super Chat. NC plans for 2017 Power Rangers movie and Solo: A Star Wars Story, either highly requested.
Not Solo. Solo's pretty boring. I did Disney Semberat. I think that's enough. Maybe the Power Rangers one, because there's almost a good idea in there. Like it almost works. It's just miscalculated. You know what I mean? Like, oh, they were close to something, but there's just a few too many miscalculations there. So maybe I'll do that at some point.
Are you ever bringing back sibling rivalry or real thoughts?
If it's something that Rob really wants to talk about, maybe. And real thoughts probably not, because now we're just saying our real thoughts.
Right.
Now we just turn the reactions up to 11 a lot louder pretty much. But in terms of sibling rivalry, maybe it has to be something like he really, really wants to talk about and we see at the same time, which doesn't happen as often as you would think. We do both have our own lives now, but we still watch the reviews together and stuff. So yeah, every once in a while we'll do one together.
Oh Bro Productions, thank you for the $5 Super Chat. Wanted to say that I've been a fan since the beginning in 2008 when I was 15, and you inspired me to get into entertainment. Keep rocking, dude.
Oh, so cool. Thank you so much. Thank you for watching for so long.
Burnsy, thank you for the 500 bits. South Pacific musical. Racist, but playable at a high school on educational purposes, or should forever be banned. I'm interested in both of your opinions.
I've never seen it. It does not look like my kind of musical. Every time I've seen clips of it, I'm just like, this looks really boring to me. So I just never put it on.
I'm all for not cutting out the uncomfortable things that happened in the past. Like, I really like if you show an older movie or an older show or something like that, just putting a little disclaimer in front of it being like, hey, there's some stuff in this that back when this was made was acceptable. We know now it was never acceptable. But you're going to be exposed to this.
Goldberg had a great one before a lot of the Tom and Jerry and Warner Brothers cartoons. She said, erasing is acting like it never happened, and we shouldn't forget this happened.
Right.
We should learn from it, and this is how we learn from it. So that I agree, and I agree having the disclaimer there, just like, hey, just keep this in mind, then you can choose whether or not to watch it.
Loopy Shot, thank you for the $20 Super Chat. Ever thought about reviewing the Scary Movie series? It's kind of corny, but it's at least pretty self-aware. Also, that poster of Lust from FMA looked amazing. So happy you included it in your Hollow Man review.
Yeah, I've had that one. It's funny because somebody asked me a while ago, who's like your anime, what they call waifu, or somebody like you kind of lust after and stuff. And I was like, I couldn't think of anyone. Like I'm like that, and it was so bizarre. And then like I think a week later, I found I'm like, wait a minute. I'm like, Lust, she's right there. I got the poster. I'm like, that's someone I'd be like that. That's a sexy character. But what are we talking about? I'm just thinking about
The
Lust now.
scary movie series, which
Scary
you
movies. That's
reviewed.
right. Yeah, I'm doing a Disney December on that. I'm doing it on Scream, and I'm also doing it on Scary Movies. So if they do well, I'll just keep doing them every Disney December every year.
Alexander, thank you for the 500 bits. What are your thoughts on the Peter Sellers film Being There?
I like it. It's another one where I respect it more than I enjoy putting it on because I've seen so many other versions of that type of story done afterwards. But it is good. It's cool because it's the original. It's cool because you can read different interpretations of that ending and everything. But yeah, I think because I have seen it done so often after that, and to some extent, you could argue better. It's not a movie I really get into, but I do respect that it was the first one to kind of do that setup.
Future movie actor, thank you for the $5 super chat. Doug, why don't you like 2009's The Middle? Often very funny. You love comedy that's based on misery, and it also gave me my OTP in later season 2.
I maybe have to watch more of it. I just saw maybe, and I really didn't give it a chance. I gave it like 2 episodes, and even then, I didn't want to because it so looked like a blatant ripoff of Malcolm in the Middle, and just what I saw was so bad. But you're right. That's not a fair assessment of a show. It could A, get better, and B, maybe I just saw 2 bad episodes and that was it. So you could be right.
Raven, thank you for the $5 super chat. Hey, big fan. What do you think of Deadpool and Wolverine?
Oh, I like it. I did an Untitled review show on it, so you can see more of my thoughts there. And I'm going to do a Disney December where I go more into spoilers about it. So, yeah, all that is on the way.
Will, thank you for the $5 super chat. You think you'd ever review any Martin Scorsese films in the future? I know there's plenty of F-bombs in a lot of his work, but Hugo could be fun.
Maybe. Again, I don't know how many people would click. It has to be a balance of something I really want to talk about and something I think people would legit click on, because we still got to stay in the algorithm too. We got to stay relevant and everything. And Hugo's probably the closest, but even then, I don't know how many people would click on it. So probably not, but it's not that bad an idea. We'll see.
JL, thank you for the 500 bits. Even though it's a sequel to Inuyasha, Yashahime sucked me in.
Cool. Glad did.
Alyssa Wolf M, thank you so much for the $200 super chat. Really appreciate
thank
that.
You so much.
Thank
so
you.
Kind.
The Trumpet Swan was a movie I grew up watching. I also recommend Elvin and the Chipmunks all sound the world 1897 or Rudolph the Red-Nosed Reindeer. The movie is a 1998. I know Rudolph is great on YouTube. I'm used to those old movies, maybe Barbara the Elephant King.
Oh, Babar, the Elephant King. I think I remember when that movie came out, and we were so used to making fun of Babar. We're like, that's going to be stupid. And it's like, well, yeah, it's for 5-year-olds, kid. Yeah, no, those are ones I might check. I know around Christmas time, some of those I've gotten recommendations for. I know that Rudolph movie I've gotten recommendations for before. So, but I don't think I've ever watched it. I've seen like the stop motion one, but I know it's not bad. So I probably should give it a chance. I'll try and check them out.
JL, thank you for the 500 bits. What do you think of Tom Hanks in The Terminal? I watched that a lot during the lockdown.
I never saw it. I have trouble with Tom Hanks and accents. I don't think he does them well. I think they're super distracting. And I just saw that movie and that character and everything, and I just said, okay, I don't think I'm gonna get into this. Like, I doubt it's awful, but even with Catherine Zeta-Jones, I don't think I'm gonna get into it. But maybe I should give it a chance. You never know. Like I said, I could be surprised.
Chat, you're amazing. Cartoon intros has one. That's gonna be a really fun one. I'm gonna have a lot of fun putting that one together. Some classic.
Now, is that going to include anime intros or not? Because that's like its whole other category.
That's like a whole other thing.
Okay, I was going to say.
No. I'm thinking like classic cartoons, even more modern ones, just stuff our group and our audience would know. I think we'll have a lot of fun with that.
I'm excited for that. It's gonna be pretty fun. I think I'm gonna do pretty good at that.
Retro Schmo, thank you for the $5 super chat. Doug, what do you think of the director Joe Dante and his mixing sci-fi B-movie material, horror comedy, and satire and the actors he always casts?
Oh, I like his stuff a lot. There's a real charm to his movies, and I mean, I guess you can point to a lot of things. Honestly, a lot of the stuff that you pointed out there, but definitely sort of a throwback to like 50s and 60s, more 50s, I think, nostalgia. And like you said, sort of the B movie style, but adding like a new flair to it. I always feel bad when they don't work because that's always like, I hate it when that, like Small Soldiers or like Looney Tunes Back in Action because you just kind of know it probably wasn't his fault. And that's always the worst when something bad happens, like from the studio. I mean, the worst case, even though I like the movie, is Explorers, where they just cut the budget and they said, "No, you're done. You can't shoot anymore." And they didn't have an ending, so they literally had to just find leftover bits from other scenes and deleted scenes, whatever, and just cobble together some kind of ending. And when you know that ending's a lot better. But when you're watching the movie, you can't just scratch your head like, "Oh, what's that about?" at the end. So yeah, no, I really like a lot of his movies. Explorers is still just a personal favorite of mine.
Invader Zim, thank you for the 500 bits. How do you think Pixar Elio, is it Yellow, maybe, would do if that movie doesn't do well? Should we expect more sequels?
I mean, it sounds like they're gonna happen no matter what. They've already announced them. Um, I hope it does well. Okay, I hope it does well, and I hope it's a good movie. You know what I mean? I don't want it to do well and it's a bad movie. But yeah, because I think that's what we always enjoyed about Pixar. We enjoyed the original ideas, but we also can't ignore like they've never done sequels. I mean, their third film was a sequel. The highest grossing animated film right now, I think, is a sequel. I think it's Inside Out too. So if they do them well, I don't mind too much. But yes, I think we originally like these movies because they were original. They were showing us something we haven't really seen before, at least something shown to us in a way we haven't seen before.
JL, thank you for the 500 bits. What do you think of the 2013 reboot of Alvin and the Chipmunks CG sequel?
Uh, Hold on. Is that the movie? Because somebody asked about a
Yeah,
2013.
JL asked about it earlier, so I don't know if they were just trying to be more specific.
Okay, no, I have not.
It's a show, is what they're saying right now.
Yeah, I haven't seen it. I'm so sorry.
Manza, thank you for the $2 super chat. Future movie actor, thank you for the $5 super chat. Was saying later seasons two of the middle FTR. Also, definitely want to see Rugrats in Paris and Rugrats Go Wild reviews too. Big Rugrats fan.
Maybe that's another one where the Rugrats review just kind of did all right. It didn't do like crazy numbers or anything, and I don't have that much of a passion to talk about Rugrats, honestly. I'm kind of more interested in talking about the Wild Thornberrys because I have heard so many good things about it. I haven't seen the show, but I hear you don't need to. So I wouldn't mind checking that. I'll probably check that out before looking at another Rugrats movie.
Alyssa, thank you for the $5 super chat. I mean, Alvin and the Chipmunks Rounded Tour, old one. Sorry, a lot of misspells because I'm tired.
Oh, all good.
Rail fan, thank you for the $5 super chat. Howdy, Heather and Doug with Me TV Tunes on air. And the many views to the Saturday morning blocks reviewed. Do you think Saturday cartoons will return?
I don't know. Obviously, I like them too because I grew up with them. It gives kids something fun to look forward to. But I mean, like, now they really can watch cartoons wherever they want, whenever they want. It does kind of seem like a different time. But they'll find different traditions, ones that like we didn't grow up with, but will be unique to them. And at some point, I'm sure will disappear and they'll be like, hey, bring back, YouTube kids or say, I don't know, some sort of something, that they grew up with that'll disappear. So, we're all going to have different traditions at some point.
Future movie actor, thank you for the $5 super chat. Something I really wanted to see back in 2012 was an old versus new for Cape Fear. The 1962 and 1991 movies both have incredible strength, certainly.
I think the first one's a lot better. I never got into the remake. I know a lot of people did. I just thought it was so over the top and so silly. And maybe that's the point. I don't know. Maybe I gotta sit down and watch it again. But I thought it was just cartoonishly silly. And again, maybe that's the idea. Maybe I'm completely missing something. But yeah, I really thought it was pretty over the top, where I thought the first one, it definitely had cartoonish moments too, but I thought it was a lot creepier. And I think the time period kind of allowed for that mindset to play out a little bit better.
The Wizard of What, thank you for the $5 super chat. When you get your new studio, what's the background color going to be? Blue, yellow, gray, white? Maybe something entirely different.
I mean, the place we're looking at now, which I mean, it looks like we're getting it. It's just the paperwork's taking eternity, and we're all really restless. We want to get in there, but it has a bunch of white walls, so it'll probably just be white.
Yeah. All right, and we've caught up. So I'm
Nice.
going to start reading some stuff from chat here.
Nice.
Devin over on YouTube asks, "Hey Doug, will you do another movie?"
Oh, definitely not in this state with the fatigue and stuff like that. I think I mentioned on Facebook I couldn't see Venom 3 this week because I had an early screening, but then I literally got knocked out for a day, about 20 hours. So yeah, it also has to be, say, even taking that out of it, it has to be something you really want to do. Because if I want to keep doing this, like these, the videos and everything, and make a movie, like I could do it when I was younger, but now like I'm older and it takes a lot more time to do all this. So it'd have to be something I'm really, really passionate about. And everything I've written, I've wanted to turn into a movie, has been made by somebody else just that had the same idea at the same time. So that's good. That means it's getting out there. These ideas are getting out there. But I do know if it's going to be something, it has to be something I know for a fact nobody else would ever think of. So, and that can be trickier than one would think.
Spooky Elephant over on Twitch says, I know, no politics, but I gotta know. Who are you voting for, Mudang or Pesto? I'm a Pesto girly. Pesto the Penguin owns my heart.
Same.
Yeah, good, great, good. Monza, thank you for the $2 super chat. Hey, Doug, will you guest star in an RLM episode?
Regular media? Is that what they're talking about?
I don't know. It just says RLM.
I'm assuming they're talking about that. Probably not. They kind of, I don't want to say they entirely keep to themselves, but I think that's kind of their brand. They don't do many crossovers and stuff like that. Also, they're very fun to watch, and they're very, very good. I don't know if our styles are the same. I think we're kind of different styles. I mean, maybe I'm wrong, but it feels unlikely. Like if they asked, I wouldn't turn it down, but it feels unlikely.
Future movie actor, thank you for the $5 super chat. With the 1991 film, there's more of an ultraviolet and sinister filter to it that the 1962 film couldn't do, and I think that helps it a lot.
That is true. They have fun with color in it. Again, I can't argue against it, kind of a cartoonish degree, but that is true. They definitely use color as a weapon in there, where obviously the original couldn't do that.
Rail fan, thank you for the $5 super chat. Will there be a Smokey and the Bandit review and the reacts to the Mickey D's Quarter Pounders being off menu due to E. coli outbreak link to it?
Yeah, it's fun. I guess I can say what the next one is because I already said on Facebook. I am doing that Scared Silly McDonald's short, and I'm just kind of like, like this E. coli thing, like, broke out just as I finished up the reviews. I couldn't do any jokes about it. But
what would Brad eat? That's what I have to know.
Yeah, no, right. Okay. He's like, I've got E. coli like 3 times from like 3 different restaurants. I'm fine. I'm totally fine. I'm used to it.
Sebastian Envin, thank you for the $2 super chat. Scratch that. Sorry. Guess no Stephen King of 2024. True.
Yeah, I don't know. I just really felt like I was scraping bottom of the barrel, and it felt like I just had to do it. And like the views from again are only so I'm kind of like, all right, maybe only if I really want to do it at this point. I think that makes sense.
Aquatic Panther over on YouTube asks, what's your favorite Looney Tunes cartoon?
Probably What's Opera Doc. That one's it's really funny. It looks gorgeous. The music is surprisingly, I mean, it's Wagner, but I mean, even like the singing and everything is surprisingly kind of good for them being cartoon characters.
Power Gamer over on Twitch says, The Nightmare Before Christmas is one of the most unrealistic movies ever made. It's about another holiday trying to take over Christmas when it's really the other way around.
Good point.
Yeah. JL, thank you for the 500 bits. Thoughts on Dexter's Laboratory?
I've only seen a little bit, but what I saw, I liked. I saw more than a little bit the more I think about it. I might have seen like maybe 10, 15 episodes, something like that. So it's definitely not the majority, but it's more than a handful, I feel like. And I liked it. I thought it was funny. I thought it was so simple, but it was so creative and had great energy to it and a great unique style to it. So yeah, I liked it.
Raven Dark, thank you for the $5 super chat. What was the worst remake that you've ever seen?
The one that always comes to mind is probably The Haunting, because the original Haunting is like one of my favorite movies, and that film just did not understand it at all. And I mean, I was talking about Cape Fear making a cartoony. That just goes pure McDonald's scared silly right there. I mean, because a pure cartoon and just 100% does not understand. I mean, even the slightest what the original story was about, nor cares. I mean, it's like when I think of like an insulting remake, like that's the one that pops in my head.
And this will have to be the last one here. The Wizard of What, thank you for the $5 super chat. Did you finally get the chance to give Agatha All Along another chance?
Not yet. I'm finishing Futurama right now. I got like maybe 3 more episodes of that, and after that, I'll probably start checking it out. Because I have heard some good things. I should give it a shot.
Yeah.
Should give it a shot.
All right, and that will do it for us, everyone. Thank you so much, as usual, for joining us here today. We really appreciate, I know I said at the beginning of the stream, but I'll reiterate it. We literally couldn't do this without you and without the amazing support that you've given us throughout the year. So thank you, thank you, thank you. Twitch, we are not going over to Tamra this year. Or year, what?
You say this year?
What?
Never
again!
What
I meant to say. Tamra isn't feeling well, so we're not raiding into her, is what I was trying to say. But we do have content here 5 days a week over on Twitch. YouTube will be back on Friday as well. Getting to the end, question mark, of Epic Mickey? Something, we're getting towards the end for you, Doug.
And maybe someone might be wearing a Halloween costume, because maybe I have a Halloween party to go to that night too. But no, it's totally for you. It's totally for you. Actually, it's a little bit of both.
It's a little bit of both. Have a wonderful evening, everyone. Thank you so much. Future movie actor, thank you for those last 5 bits. Really appreciate, or 5 bits. $5 super chat. I need to go, apparently. No. All right, everyone.
You're my number one, a guy.
We'll see y'all later. Bye.